guys, sorry about that. I was realizing I didn't have my microphone set up. WTF, I swear. It's one of those days. So, believe it or not, I did have time to go to the tattoo parlor with my husband, which was not as scary as I thought. The last time I was in a parlor, I was going to get a phoenix on my back, and I got overwhelmed. So overwhelmed because it was super hot in there and really loud, and I have like sensory issues, and this place was like super chill and quiet and like cold, and then like the guy that did my husband's tattoo is like super chill and like really mellow, and he loves to do flowers, and he had all of these like stencils of like lilies, and he had this one that was awesome, and it would like go right here. And so he's gonna draw me up one that has like cascading lilies that will have interweaved in it that'll say family is everything. And I'm like, oh my God, this could be so amazing. So yes, 40-year-olds can get tattoos, and it doesn't mean it's a midlife crisis. All right, you guys, it's Katie Joy from Without a Crystal Ball. I am back here, and I am ready to go. I am happy that you guys are here with me. This has been a very busy few days, and we should be slowing down hopefully after this afternoon, although there's always things to talk about, right? And the dogs are alive, and so is the cat, in case you're wondering. So here we go. Earlier today, I did a stream about some details that I'm not going to talk about because that video got demonetized. Woohoo! All right, so I'm going to be a little bit more clever here about how we discuss things, because YouTube has this like thing. It's so annoying. All right, so Amber was in Indianapolis this afternoon with her friends. The photo I am showing to you up here is courtesy of TMZ. They were outside. They caught them going in, going out. Here's the deal. Andrew arrived by himself, and Amber arrived with her mother, with Christina, with her mother and her attorney, and then a producer from MTV, which if you see at the very top up there with the red arrow, that's the producer from MTV. You will remember him because he was actually in one of the episodes, and he was actually talking with Amber, and the very first episode of Teen Mom OG this season, he was in their living room talking with them about what happened between Amber and Janelle. And then Amber got all pissed off, and it was really fun. But anyways, that was the producer, so that's him right there, meaning MTV is there with Amber, of course, not able to miss a beat, and of course going to find a way to exploit this and make some money off of it, I guess. I did not notice any cameras, although who knows what's in his backpack. Am I the only person that finds this whole thing to be like a massive gross factor? Like, the woman's going into some serious phase of her life, right? Like, this is some serious stuff, and MTV's like, they're like, give me the money, give me the money, give me the money. You know, like, they're going to find a way to cash cow this, and it's so gross. Ugh. I'm really starting to hate MTV. You know, I started hating MTV back when they started Jersey Shore, just because I was like, God, this is so trashy. And then I further really started like hating MTV when they started doing all of those, when they just wouldn't let go of the real world, when the real world got so toxic. MTV, what I've learned, has a really hard time letting go of shows. How long was The Real World on before they finally pulled the plug? That show was boring. It was getting old. The cast members were just getting out of control. And now it's like Teen Mom OG is like the next Real World. It's like, how many more years? Are these women going to be grandmas and they're still going to be like Teen Mom OG? And then they're going to be like at the pharmacy getting their like hemorrhoid cream and their like Metamucil so they can go poop? I mean, seriously, I'm starting to wonder if this show is going to be on for the rest of my life. And of course, if it is, I'll have to talk about it. And so I will be geriatric on YouTube sharing it with you, although YouTube probably won't exist then. So back to court. In court, they issued the no contact order. The judge also set her bond at $2,000. That was posted and cash. She paid cash. Am I the only one that's annoyed that you can just like write a check for $2,000? Like, no big whoop. Who knows if she actually paid the full bond though? She could have just paid like a percentage down. Well, no. If she didn't use a surety company, like a bond company, she would have had to pay the whole amount. And it says cash bond. So, anyways, she'll be back in this afternoon because she and Andrew have to talk about custody with CPS in court later today. So, in the room during all of this, Gary Shirley was there with his wife Christina, supporting Andrew. They were outside of this building. Do you like how I called it this building? So the bots don't know what I'm talking about. Outside of this building, Gary and Christina were there supporting Amber along with Amber's mother and some guy with sunglasses on who I assume is her attorney. He has a nice crew cut that hasn't been in since the 1980s. All right, so after court, Amber was quiet, somber, didn't really say anything, kind of had her head down. She was answering questions when she was talking to Gary, but TMZ is the one who actually caught the photos and caught the video, and nothing really happened. They asked her if she had anything to say. She didn't say a word. So she was in and out. Nothing. I wouldn't expect her to really comment at this point, to be honest. Anything that she says could be used against her, so she's better to just be quiet. Her next party with Indiana is on July 26th. All right? Do you like that? Do you like my little the next party is on July 26th? That's when she and the state will be talking again, okay? So between that and then there is this whole issue to do with the baby, and the baby is going to be, that will be determined today. According to a source with Us Weekly, Andrew is going to ask for primary custody of James as a, how do I say this? As a precautionary way to, let me actually just read you the quote. I updated my article too, so in case you don't want the long-windedness of this, you can always update the article. So it says, Andrew's doing it as a protective measure to ensure whatever happens with the upcoming party at Indiana, that's my bot word, their son will have the best outcome regardless, and they still really care about each other, and this is not the end of their relationship. So that's what he says. He says that this relationship is not over, you guys, despite what we all been saying. I don't know how you're going to have a relationship when you can't even talk. Although, do you want to know something about my life? I'll share it with you. So, my husband has a brother that's been in and out of the clinker pretty much our entire marriage, and we've been together for 10 years. Anyway, he was actually in the clinker back in the day, and he and his wife always had no contact orders that they never actually stuck to, which constantly landed him back in the clinker. So no contact orders aren't always, they don't always work. So we'll see if in this case, and actually to get in trouble, the other person has to enforce it and be like, you contacted me. So if Andrew doesn't care and he doesn't report it, somebody else can report it. But this is nuts. This is nuts. Okay, so she is she's staying in Anderson. He's in Indianapolis. You guys, my heart's racing. I think I had too much coffee today. So I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. Okay. MTV's there. She's got a bunch of stuff she's got to do. This is going to be a mess, you guys. And I've just been waiting for MTV to say a word. And I feel like this photo is just this is all the evidence I need that they're not going to do anything. This is just going to be another mark, another way for them to make a documentary God, could you imagine? I bet you they would follow her all the way in. I mean, I'm pretty sure if MTV could have a camera in her cell, they would. Hell, if they could have like a body cam, they would use that. I mean, this is how exploitative this company is. And like what's annoying me is that I don't even want to watch the show, but now I feel like I have to watch the show just because I got to know what's going on, even though I know it's like totally manufactured and annoying. Is anyone else with me about how annoying this is? I am beyond beside myself. Okay, yes. So here's the deal with the cruise. Do you want to know what the deal is with the cruise? The crews literally can't do anything. They're not bound by they can't get involved in the cases. Viacom actually, who is the owner of MTV, does everything. They will likely not be a part of the case. They will not be a part. They weren't there, so they won't be a part of this case. And even if they are there, they're not ever part of cases because MTV is all like probably has some sort of contract where they can't be held like liable for anything, and they can't be used, and the courts won't even use the videotape, which I actually think is super weird because wasn't it the videotape from 2011 that got her that had her go on vacation for 17 months the first time? I'm pretty sure it was something from the show that actually landed her on vacation. I think she's going to go on vacation for a really long time, you guys. Probably like 2.5 years, maybe longer. And there could be more stuff added to this every single day. Noticeably absent wasn't the love child was not there. So I don't know where that child was. Hopefully maybe at daycare or something. Although do you think they have daycare? Neither one of them have a job. Do you need daycare if you don't have a job? I mean, because doesn't Janelli have daycare? Why do you think they send their kids to daycare if they don't have jobs? Is it because they just really they just have other things that they want to do with their time, like not have jobs and just like hang out? Do you think that like when Amber's away from the house, her couch gets sad? Do you think it gets lonely when she's not sitting there? Do you think the spot just like it starts crying? I imagine a lonely couch. Like that spot right behind me would just be so sad that she's not sitting there. Like if a couch could talk, that's probably what would happen. I'm starting to get to this point where I get the slap happies about this story because it's becoming so ridiculous to me. And I wonder if she's not at the house, do you think the house, like the inanimate objects at the house, are like breathing a sigh of relief that they will not be used as objects to be thrown at things? Like her shoes are probably like, thank you. I will not be hurt today. Seriously. And yes, I know daycare can be good for kids to get them in socialization settings. That I know. All right. So today's case is court party was over and everything on that end is going to be continued to July 26th. There will be another party later this afternoon to talk about the love child. And then what goes next for them as a couple, I don't know. I have no idea. Like, you know what got me out of all of this? Can I just say this out loud? When she was like super sad and like flipping out, what did he do? He went and bought her gifts. He went to the store and bought her gifts. Like, that was his like strategy. Like, he was just gonna buy her a present. Do you think she's a princess that just expects people to like wait on her hand and foot and like the only way to calm her down is by giving her presents? Or do you think that that's just like what he does as a way to pacify her? I get the sense that she's very entitled and used to people kind of like bowing down to her, and that maybe the gifts are just a way for him to like maybe cushion the blow too, for sure. Probably to like bring her Yes, Zane, I agree. I think there is an element of that aspect where he has some level of not feeling so hot about things sometimes when it comes to her. Um, my concern for the future would be like, oh, this was a part I forgot to tell you guys about. Okay. So I got to figure out a way to say this so that YouTube doesn't get mad at me for this. And I'm really hot. Okay. So on Monday, Andrew met with some people about the love child. And during their conversation, he let them know that he was concerned about the baby because apparently Ambi is not doing what her doctors are telling her to do, which I think we kind of suspected. And I guess she has been not taking some of the medications that she's supposed to be taking, which I think we were kind of suspecting. And it said like refusing or failing to take the meds. So either way, she is in a place right now where she's not taking care of herself, which I think we knew. That was one piece I had not shared with you. And so that was one of the primary reasons. And it sounds like he will be given custody. I am so glad you guys are all here and I am your favorite channel now. That makes me so happy. I'm actually kind of surprised that Gary and Christina were there too. Part of me is like, okay, maybe Gary's she has said that she and Gary have gotten to a place now where like they are kind of like family and they have established a relationship for Leah in order to give her sort of a sense of normalcy, and that she and Gary and Christina have kind of just become like extended family to one another, which is amazing for co-parenting. I mean, think of in terms of Leah, that's got to be amazing, got to be awesome, got to be good to know that your former partner is supportive of you and going to be there for you. And if this is a case where she's just literally not taking care of herself, she needs support, you guys. No matter what we think about what happened, no matter what we think about what's going on with her, nobody, when they're in a position like this, should ever be alone. This is like a very critical time for her where she would need support and need help. So in one respect, I'm like very glad that he's there and like supporting her. And then the other respect, I'd be kind of like, and he might also be there because he might want to just know what the status is, because his daughter is involved in this. Not directly, but you know what I mean. So it could be like kind of precautionary in order for her to be like, to kind of have an idea of what's going on. I did see that, Zane, about the anxiety stuff, and that doesn't surprise me. So that actually makes me wonder if like maybe this is partially like them getting in front of it so they know what's going on, to understand maybe how to explain it to Leah. It's hard to know. Either way, it's not bad that she has support in a case like this. And what we do know is she needs a lot of help. Clearly. I was actually thinking about that too, Mandy, that maybe postpartum is part of this issue where it triggers this like, behavior. I don't know. Because the last one happened like when Leah was a year old too. And then you're right, when she got out, she was like super zen and totally fine. However, I think you remember though that like her behavior was starting to get kind of wild. I would still encourage you guys to watch Marriage Boot Camp if you haven't. You'll see a side of Amber you don't typically see on Teen Mom, because it's like a way different like environment. It's a way different scope. She didn't have to act good. I think part of me wonders if like during that taping, Matt actually like told the doctors that he couldn't wait for people to actually see how Amber was, because the way that she acts on camera is not who she is in person, and that she's hiding things about herself from people. And she was very off when she was on that show, very confrontational. So part of me is like, is there truth to that? It's hard to believe anything that Yahoo says, because he is a pathological liar too. But, it takes two to tango for sure. I am so happy so many of you guys are subscribing to my channel. Can I just tell you, I am in love with all of you guys just being here with me, giving me a sense of like knowing that what I'm doing here isn't such a bad thing, and that I'm trying to keep you updated and have some fun while we're doing this. You guys are absolutely awesome. I would agree, Kyle's cousin Kyle. Oh my God, that's like the best name. Kyle's cousin Kyle says all Gary wants is for Amber to be in Leah's life, so I kind of see why he would be supportive. But I think it might be safe to support from a distance. Just a really sad situation. I actually agree with you 100% on that, Kyle. Zane, correct. Hearing her on Teen Mom saying she missed meds, it's a very big deal when you don't take your meds. I agree with that. Hello from Sweden. Well, oh my gosh, I'll have to tell my husband that you said hello from Sweden, because my husband is obsessed with Sweden. And yes, Mandy, she was on fire on boot camp. Totally on fire on boot camp. Like next level fire. Like, what do the kids say these days? She was beyond. Guys, I am so not cool. I'm like the opposite of cool. I am like the 40-year-old mom that has purple hair. And I'm getting my first tattoo. Okay, so you do need to watch the boot camp. If you have Ratchet, oh my God, I love that word. Ratchet, that's such a good, she's the real G, you guys. That's what she always says. If you have, here's an easy way to watch. If you don't have cable, you can actually order, and I don't have cable either, FYI. My husband and I actually pay for DirecTV Now. If you have that option in your area, it's a super easy way. You can actually stream it over the internet. And it's way cheaper than paying for the cable boxes or like the DirecTV satellites. And it's just over the internet. It's awesome. And you can get WeTV is in one of the packages, as is MTV. And that's how I'm able to watch these. And then I don't even watch them on TV. I watch them on my computer. I watch them before I go live. Like yesterday or 2 days ago, I watched every single Teen Mom OG episode of this month, or this season. Although I did fast forward through nearly everything to do with Cheyenne, because I've decided she's irrelevant. There's very few times in my life that I agree with Janelle on things, but I will say, Cheyenne, you are irrelevant. I really don't care anything about you. Your story doesn't matter to me. And I don't care if you have a baby with Matt or whoever his name is. And I don't know why you're on the show, because your child is 2 and the kids on Teen Mom OG are 10. It's just weird and uncomfortable and it's stupid and I don't like it. Oh my God. I don't have time to invest in somebody else, you guys. Do you ever feel like that when you have friends? Like when you get to a certain point in life and it's like somebody wants to be your friend and you're like, hold on, let me check my phone to see how many friends I have. Actually, I've met my friend quota for the year. Can you check back with me next month? Because that's like how much I don't. That's how much I just can't find new friends. And I feel like when you have to add these new people into your life, it's like inviting an entire, it's like adding an entirely new person, a new perspective, new people, new lives. Yeah. And then yes, exactly, dreadlocks. Then they're like living in your head and then you're falling asleep at night and you're thinking about Cheyenne and Matt. Like I literally don't care. He seems like such a tool bag, so I don't even want to talk about him. So, My head is full. Like they might have gotten rid of Farrah, but Farrah is still right here, y'all. And Farrah's daughter has a YouTube channel. Do you think we should do an episode on her YouTube channel? Should we? Should we talk about their YouTube channel? That would be a really good episode, I think, if we talked about YouTube. Because honestly, what do you guys think about kids on YouTube? See, I don't put my son on YouTube at all. My son watches a lot of these shows that are on YouTube. But I've always gotten a little like weirded out about kids being like center stages of shows, because then that actually means that they're working. And that to me is, I'm just not a huge supporter of kids having jobs. Like there's a reason why kids should just not work. And then plus you always read about some of these stories of like the kids on YouTube having to do stuff they really don't want to do. And then like, you guys, if you don't have a channel, or if you do run a channel, you will know that it's a ton of work to do this. Like I do a ton of live streams just because editing is such a pain in the ass. And then between like my writing and then live streams, I would just like, if I pre-recorded everything, I would have no time in my life to do anything else. So I try to do live streams and just be stream of thought as much as possible, because then I don't have to worry about editing. And if I do, I can always go back and edit later on, but it's so much work. Yes. I do not think they will get rid of her, because did you see this image? Look who's there. Unless he was there to find out what was going on, but I don't see them doing anything, and they've not said anything. And why would they get rid of it now? Because this is like a ratings, this is like a ratings extravaganza. Although with all of the press today, I dare you, Google her name. Or how about you guys just do this? Check out my archives. This is my archives. Click that link after we're done with the stream, and you can just read today's article about what's going on with her. And yes, sadly, drama is entertaining. Although this case does not make me so entertained. It just makes my heart hurt. Actually, I'm slightly having a little bit of anxiety over it. I'm not even going to lie. I've been having like, my heart's been racing a lot, and I don't know if that's, it might be my allergy. No, it's giving me anxiety. I need to take my anxiety meds. Oh, which brought me to, Melanie, there was this photo. So MTV was with her at the party, and we're no longer calling it COURT. We're calling it a party because YouTube doesn't like COURT. So we're just going to call anytime she has to go there a party. So MTV was at the party with her along with Gary and Christina, and she will be having another party later today with Andrew to talk about their love child at the party. Okay? Oh, wait. Melanie, you guys, welcome Melanie as the new moderator. I forgot to tell you guys. Melanie is joining our moderator crew. And then somebody else, Kim. Where's Kim? Is Kim here? Kim F, are you watching? I'm waiting for Kim F. No, Kim F's not here yet. Okay. One other person had messaged me, I need more moderators because this channel's growing. And you can... Yes. Yes, we're calling it a party. Because everyone loves parties. Nobody loves C-O-blank-R-T. Okay? And nobody likes A-B hashtag S-E. It's annoying AF. Okay? And then, okay, just so you guys know, we have another one of our, if you see Scott right there. We call Scott Scarlett, so that is another one of the moderators. Yes, the second party is on July 26th, so that will be the preliminary party. Today was the probable CAUS blank party, which was found and by the judge, okay? Things are so complicated. Yes, and Scott, we call her Scarlett. Because nothing is normal on this channel. We love Scarlett. Scarlett's an EMT or a paramedic. Tons and tons and tons of information. We love her. All right. So for this stream, that's all I got. Also, I am... Okay, TC, you can get a wrench too. If you are a new moderator, just send me a DM on Twitter or Facebook me at facebook.com/withoutacrystalball. The chat guidelines are in my community section, and like really the only thing here is that we try to keep people staying on topic. We try to avoid obscenities in the chat. I have the chat filter set that way just because YouTube is weird when you actually, like, if your live chat remains in replay and it has bad words in it, you can lose your monetization. So we avoid those, and then we don't do name calling, ad hominems, anything like that. And then we are pro-science here, so we try to stay away from any sort of misinformation that can fly related to alternative health stuff. And we just try not to talk about that in the chat. And then we also are not a charity. So we have had problems in the past with people using the live chat to groom and get money. So if you see people that are starting to do that, you just need to tell me about it and I can take care of it. And then when people have questions for me, you just have to remind them that if I don't see all of the questions, so if they do have a question that wants to be seen, they can use the super chat in order for me to ensure that I go. I always address super chats at the end of every live stream. And that was it really. But the community guidelines are all, like the chat guidelines are all in there. And there's one other too. Oh, don't be a baby. I just hate when people complain. It drives me nuts when people just use chats just to complain. Kelly, you're new to my channel and you're so awesome. I love all of my new subscribers. I hope you guys like stuff beyond Teen Mom because I just wrote this crazy story. I can go off topic if you want, but today I was watching, okay, so I write a lot of crazy stories on my Pathios. But seriously, we aren't a daycare, don't be a baby. Like, that's one of our rules. Yes, we also, I know you've been here forever, Dreadlocks. You can be a moderator too. Okay. So, oh, that was another rule. So we play this game on my channel where we play, is the dog or cat alive? So if you see people doing that, that is a common, that's a common thing on this channel where they talk about the dogs and the cats. All right, I'll add you, Chiba. Okay, and then just with the moderating too, just make sure that you are keeping people on task, reminding people to be nice. If you see people starting to troll, I have to admit, I have this group of people that troll me because of another channel I'm involved with on Monday nights. I would encourage you guys to take some time and expand outside of just the teen mom stuff that I do, because I cover a ton of different topics. I have a lot of videos in here that have a wide range of information. I love the tea, but I also love to educate and talk about just thought-provoking issues. And so I have a lot of videos on those types of topics. I'm a mother of a child with autism, so I also talk a lot about some of the stuff that is misconceptions about autism, things that are just like not issues that happen in the world of autism, the way children are treated. I am an advocate for disability services. I have a lot of people that have disabilities that follow me, because if you don't know me before today, my son is a child with multiple disabilities. He has autism, hydrocephalus, Chiari malformation. He has congenital heart disease. He actually had open heart surgery a year ago or 11 months ago. He's had 4 brain surgeries. He has a feeding tube. He has no pituitary gland. He has neuropathic pain. His stomach is partially paralyzed. He has a lot going on. We have nurses in the house, which means when I'm working during the day, he still will come in, but because he's autistic, he doesn't always understand. You'll hear him, but he doesn't usually come on screen because he gets really shy and he doesn't like to look in the eyes of anyone. He has people here that are taking care of him, so don't assume that like nobody's watching him. He has nurses here 12 hours a day that help with us. And then when I'm not with him, I am with... When I'm not with him, or when they're not here, then I'm taking care of him. And, so he's considered level 1 autistic. But then he has a lower than normal IQ. So his processing and everything, I have this weird, he did his whole neuropsychology evaluation. He's about 2 years behind, but he will never catch up, because he's almost 7. He'll probably live with us his whole life. We're actually doing a demo for his bathroom starting next month to get that set up, because we're making it accessible, because he uses a wheelchair sometimes. So I'll be documenting that for you guys. We just painted his room yesterday. I took video of that. So we have always a million things going on. There's always a lot of noise. You might hear him screaming. He hates when the dogs bark. He hates noises outside. He has very sensitive ears. We have 2 dogs that are rescues. I have a humongous heart for animals. Both of our hound dogs are from puppy mills in the south. Our one dog that's laying over here, that is Sweetie. She is 3 years old. She's from Arkansas. We rescued her a year and 4 months ago. She had just had a litter and had been dumped on the side of the road. She is literally the sweetest, most loving dog in the entire world. I absolutely love her so much. And then we have another dog named Frida. She's actually in the corner there. You can't see her. And we adopted her in February, and we're still dealing with some of the issues with her because she was abandoned as a puppy. So we're working on some of her, she's scared of everything. She's even scared of my son's toys. I think it's allergies, you guys. My chest is so tight. I'm so sick of allergies. Okay, anyways. Did you ever watch Gilmore Girls and Lorelai got Paul Angus? And the dog was scared of shoes. That's how my dog Frida is. And I am a big Paul Anka. Paul Anka. My dog is kind of like Paul Anka from Gilmore Girls. She's scared of everything. And then she's also very protective and super loving. So she's super scared of people that she meets. So because we have nurses in our house, sometimes I jump off stream just because she has nipped at 2 of our nurses, which has been a big deal. She hasn't broken any blood, but I have to be right on top of her until she gets more comfortable with people. Rescuing animals is never, never, never easy. And then there are videos in my albums I don't do essential oils or the multi-level marketing crap. Oh my God, I hate multi-level marketing. If you've ever thought about getting into it, I've done videos on that. I cover stuff in the birth world, natural childbirth. if you're interested into that kind of stuff, I debunk a lot of the myths that are around it and some of the misinformation that they spread. I'm a humongous advocate for public health and vaccines because my son had whooping cough, so I have shared that story. I'm also humongous into making sure that children receive them, and I'm outspoken about that. Having my son go through whooping cough was absolutely terrible, and he is medically fragile, and if he were to get another one of these diseases, he could not survive. So I'm really outspoken about that kind of stuff. I'm a huge advocate just for children in general because I have so much going on with my son. I'm not a super mom. I don't wear a cape, and as hard as it sounds, you guys, it's really not that hard if you love a kid to take care of them and make sure they're safe. And it's not that hard to do the right thing when you are a mom and you care about your kids. And that's kind of how I end up always on these like trajectories of like following these mothers that don't make the best choices. Because I always think of like my life and how I could easily not make good choices because of how stressed out I am. And yet I don't make those choices. I constantly make choices to be a better parent for him, which has included taking care of my mental health, because it was my son's illness that ultimately led me to get proper diagnosis, on the right meds, and into therapy. So if I can do it, anyone else can do it. And yes, I will host an entire episode just on what I've been through with my stuff related to that. I don't often share a lot about my son because I want him to have the right to tell his own story, and I try to be very cognizant of that, and I don't want to exploit him, and I don't want to get like fame or attention because I'm a mother of a sick child. That's just not what I want to be known for. I'm not against midwives at all. I think if you read my stuff, you'll notice I kind of talk. I've done some work with midwives. I've written a lot about midwives. There are good midwives and there are not good midwives. And the world of the United States with that industry as a whole is very messy and needs better regulation. And that's one thing that I talk about a lot on my column. And then I'm also just really into making sure that women have proper informed information and not like misinformation or scare tactics used by people to make people fearful of the medical industry. And I'll just be very frank that I'm very much I'm very much for medical science because I used to be really not for medical science. I used to be super crunchy. I used to like be really into alternative medicine. I used to do everything in my power to not have to take care of my mind. I tried everything. I did yoga, I did oils, I did meditation, I did massages, I did diet, I did clean eating, working out, so many different things. And then I just finally couldn't do it anymore. And then I got on what I needed to be on and I got better. But it was my son who actually got me on that track because he was born with parts of his body that didn't work right. And then it was the medical community that actually saved his life when he was 3 months old and has continued to save his life every single day. I mean, hell, going through open heart surgery was nuts. So nuts, but man, did it improve his life. He is doing so much better. So if you're a parent of a child that has medical illnesses, like, dude, I feel you. And if you ever want to just talk, follow me on Facebook or Twitter. I don't always answer everything, but I'm not against, like, I do my best every day to like try to respond to all of you guys and be there, but I will not answer that question because I don't want to get demonetized. If you want to follow me on Facebook, hi Isabel, I am at Katie, it's facebook.com/without a crystal ball. I have a fairly large community there. It's almost 16,000. I'm also on Twitter at WOA Crystal Ball. And then I'm here on YouTube. And then I have an Instagram, which is Without a Crystal Ball. And then, yeah, I have my column on Patheos where I write 2 to 3 articles a day. I started here on YouTube to expand my audience, and it's just been kind of fun, to be honest. And I'll tell you one thing, the writing world is super competitive, and man, are they making it harder and harder to make money. I just actually I've been working for Patheos for a year, and we just had a pay cut. So it's like, as algorithms change, as Google does stuff, as things happen, I have to find ways to continue to expand my brand without a crystal ball and make myself more visible. I was super scared to go onto YouTube because I can actually get kind of sensitive to some of the nasty comments, but I've been writing professionally for 5 years, so I'm kind of used to like getting trolled a lot, so I'm not scared of that. We are talking about Amber. We're just done talking about Amber because it's been 46 minutes. If you want to restart the stream, guys, the guys fam, you can restart the stream. So, yeah, for now, if I repeat the stuff about Amber so many times, anyone that comes onto the stream after the fact will be like, why are you repeating yourself 4 times? Because all of these end up in my archives. Yeah. So, thank you, Isabel. Let's see. I think that is what I've got for now. Tynette, we have been doing that where we have nurses throw food on the floor, and that has definitely helped. Oh, Mel, you're fine. You did not offend anyone. I just don't want to talk about it because I don't want to get, in trouble with the gods of YouTube. I will not try it, just to answer your questions, but I won't answer why because I don't want to get into a fight. So, I will be going live later today. Yes, I will try to do, Nathan was on TMZ Live yesterday, so I'm going to watch that and see what's going on there. And I'm just going to double check to see if there's anything else going on. I have some stories that I've done. I'd like to do a story out of, where is it from? Nebraska, about a woman that got involved with something. I don't want to bring it up because it will absolutely not be a stream that can be monetized. It will be demonetized, or I won't even monetize it because I know it will fall outside of the community guidelines. But it's a super important story about a woman in Nebraska and some of the issues that come up with legal loopholes related to birth. So I want to do a story about that, and someone actually connected to the family reached out to me, and I'm just waiting for them to get back to me. And then, that's another thing, is if any of you guys have stories that you are interested or think that like you would like my take on, let me know. You can email me on Facebook. You can send me messages on Facebook or on Twitter. You can like copy me or tag me on Twitter. I don't take all suggestions, but if something does sort of pique my interest, I will definitely look into it. And if it's like a local story that hasn't gotten a lot of press and you're like, dude, this needs to get out further, let me know and I'll get it out wider for you guys. Grassroots sort of columnists, freelancer, I'm not really a freelancer, but smaller columnists like me, bloggers, whatever you want to talk about it, I'm not bound by the same like legalities as some of these larger entities are. So I'm a little bit more willing to be a little bit more brazen in my words, which is probably why people like Tati Westbrook has threatened to sue me. Oh well. Which never happened, by the way. It never happened. Okay. So I am going to just get off here today, but I need to go take my allergy meds. And YouTube is getting extremely strict. Ooh, I've never talked about Orange is the New Black. Interesting. Do any of you watch this show, Life After LOCKUP? Because I love that show and I would love to do a stream on that show. That is a walking disaster. And then if you guys also want to, finally, I have 2 ways that you can support me if you are, I have a merchandise store, a Teespring store, which you can find in my About section. I make graphic shirts, not like this, but I have some graphic shirts in there. And then I'm always interested in more designs. If you're interested, or suggestions for designs, I have a Teespring store. I don't sell a lot of shirts, but hey, it's fun to make them. And I mostly just make them so I can buy them. And then I make them for my son. I'm not even lying. Like, I've bought almost all of the shirts I've made just because I want something to say something and then I can never find that exact saying, so I just design it. And then I have my Patreon. If you want to become a patron, I have different tiers, very, very cheap per month to join. And then I have a single donations of $5 a month. It's nice to just have support from you guys. I don't do any sponsorships and I don't do any affiliate links. And I don't beg for money usually. I just let you know, if you want to, if you want to contribute, do it. If you don't, no biggie. I just like that you hang out with me and are interested in what I'm talking about. So I will think about what's going on. If anything else comes up later today, I will get it out to you. Thanks for hanging out with me and listening to me babble for the last 20 minutes. I am out of breath and need to take my inhaler. Hope you guys have a great day.